It started like any other day. The alarm rang, the same monotone sound that felt like it had been there forever, and yet somehow, today it sounded different, sharper, more urgent. He hit snooze, pretending he could ignore the pull of reality, pretending that life would wait. But deep down, he knew something had to give. Something had to change. For years, he had been living on autopilot, chasing deadlines, paying bills, scrolling through social media, and convincing himself that tomorrow would be the day he actually started living the life he dreamed of. But tomorrow never came. The truth was staring him in the face. He had settled, and settling had slowly become suffocating. That morning, something snapped. Maybe it was the way the sunlight hit the cracked ceiling of his apartment, or maybe it was just sheer exhaustion from running in circles with no finish line. He realized that he had been running a race he didn't even want to run. The panic, the regret, the quiet fear of wasted years, all of it hit him at once. He remembered the little signs he had ignored, the ideas he had abandoned, the risks he had avoided, the opportunities he had let slip through his fingers. And in that moment, he understood that success wasn't going to knock on his door. It wasn't going to hand him a blueprint and say, "Here, go ahead, live your dream." No, it was waiting for him to fight for it, to claim it, to push through the fear that had been holding him back for so long. He stood up, walked to the window, and for the first time in a long time, looked outside without distraction. He asked himself the question that would change everything. Am I really living, or am I just existing? And right there, the answer hit him like a jolt of electricity. Existing was over. Living was about to begin. But what came next was something he could have never predicted. The days that followed were not easy. They never are when you decide to break free from the comfort of the ordinary. He quickly realized that change wasn't a single moment. It was a battlefield, and every step forward felt like dragging himself through mud. He had dreams bigger than his current reality, but the world around him seemed determined to remind him of his limits. Bills piled up, people doubted him, and even his own mind turned against him. The voices were relentless. You're not ready. You'll fail. You're just lucky in the past. But here's the thing. Everyone faces this struggle. Everyone at some point looks at the life they want and sees a gap so wide it feels impossible to cross. And yet, it's in that very struggle that potential is forged. He remembered the nights lying awake, heart racing, staring at the ceiling, thinking about all the ifs and buts that chained him. Friends told him to be realistic, to take the safer path, to stop dreaming. It hurt more than he wanted to admit. But deep down, he knew that the price of giving up was far greater than the pain of trying. It wasn't just about money or recognition. It was about proving to himself that he was capable of more, that his story didn't end where others said it would. Each failure, each rejection, each setback was a reminder that he was still moving forward, even when it didn't feel like it. And just when he thought the struggle might swallow him whole, something unexpected happened. Something small, almost invisible, but powerful enough to make him reconsider everything he thought he knew about himself. It was a moment that would shift the trajectory of his life forever. He was at the edge. Not literally, but in every way that mattered. Months of effort had yielded little. Doors he had knocked on remained closed. Dreams that once felt tangible now seemed like distant stars, beautiful but unreachable. Frustration clawed at him, doubt whispered cruelly in his ear, and exhaustion had settled into his bones like a permanent weight. Then, on a night when the world felt unbearably heavy, he made a decision that would change everything. He chose to stop asking why me and started asking what can I do now? It wasn't glamorous. It wasn't a sudden revelation with fireworks and applause. It was quiet, almost invisible, a single choice to take responsibility for his life without waiting for anyone else to give him permission. He sat down with a blank sheet of paper, and for hours he wrote everything he wanted, everything he feared, and everything he had avoided. Every dream, every failure, every hidden desire spilled out onto the page. And in that mess of words, a strange clarity emerged. He saw patterns in his mistakes, overlooked opportunities he had dismissed, and realized that the very obstacles that had frustrated him were actually lessons in disguise. It hit him. Success wasn't about luck or waiting for the right time. Success was about resilience, about pushing forward even when everything seemed impossible. It was about showing up when no one is watching, learning when others quit, and believing when doubt screams the loudest. He didn't know exactly how it would happen, but he understood this. The turning point wasn't a single moment of victory, it was the decision to fight, to keep going even when the path was unclear. And just as he started taking those first deliberate steps, something remarkable began to happen. Something that would start to blur the line between his dreams and reality. The first step was simple, yet so many people overlook it. He had to believe he was capable. Not in some vague, motivational way, but in a concrete, unshakable way that didn't depend on anyone else's approval. Every morning, he reminded himself of what he was fighting for, not the approval of the world, not the fleeting applause of success, but the quiet satisfaction of knowing he had given everything he could. Next came discipline. Not the rigid kind that drains life from you, but the kind that builds momentum. He started small, committing to tasks that scared him, facing fears he had avoided for years, and showing up even when he didn't feel like it. Every small victory added a brick to the foundation of his potential. Then he embraced failure, not as a setback but as a teacher. Each misstep, each rejection, each disappointment became fuel. He learned to analyze without judgment, to adjust without hesitation, and to persist without doubt. The pain didn't disappear, but it became sharper, focused, powerful, a reminder that he was alive and learning. Another crucial step was surrounding himself with people who pushed him, challenged him, and refused to let him settle for mediocrity. Toxic voices fell away, leaving only those who inspired, motivated, and demanded more. Influence is subtle, but it is everything. The right company doesn't just support you, it stretches you, forces you to grow, and mirrors the potential you already have inside. And finally, he committed to action. Ideas are worthless without execution. Every plan, every insight, every lesson he learned was meaningless until he acted relentlessly, consistently, and with focus. Momentum built. Doors opened. Opportunities he hadn't even imagined appeared. The impossible started feeling possible, and the life he had once only dreamed about began taking shape in front of him. But just when he felt the first taste of progress, something unexpected challenged him again. A test that would push him to the limits of his resolve and redefine what success really meant. It all came to a head one morning when he realized something incredible. He had crossed an invisible line. The man who once doubted every step he took, who trembled at the thought of failure, was now moving with confidence, clarity, and purpose. The struggles, the pain, the sleepless nights, they had not destroyed him. They had built him. The breakthrough wasn't a sudden windfall, a lottery win, or an instant recognition. It was quieter, deeper, and far more powerful. It was the moment he realized that his potential was no longer a distant dream. It was living, breathing, and unfolding in real time. Every choice he made, every risk he took, every fear he faced was proof that he could create the life he once thought impossible. Success, he understood now, isn't just reaching a goal. It's the transformation along the way. It's becoming the person capable of achieving what once seemed out of reach. He could feel it in the way he thought, in the decisions he made, and in the energy he brought to each day. He wasn't just surviving anymore, he was thriving. And here's the secret most people miss. Your breakthrough is always on the other side of persistence. The edge of your potential isn't marked by luck or timing, it's marked by your refusal to give up when the world tells you that you should. It's in those quiet, relentless moments of choosing to move forward that life shifts. Now, imagine yourself standing in that place. The place where doubt still whispers but you no longer listen. The place where struggle exists but doesn't define you. The place where your potential isn't a promise anymore. It's a reality. That life is waiting. It's waiting for you to fight for it, to embrace it, to claim it as yours. So here's the choice. Will you stay on the edge of your dreams, or will you take the step that finally changes everything? Because once you do, there's no turning back. Look back for a moment. The fears, the doubts, the I can't moments, they don't define you. Every struggle and failure has prepared you for this moment, the moment to step into your full potential. Your potential is limitless. The only thing holding you back is hesitation. The right time to act is now. The right moment is this moment. You've seen the journey, the wake-up call, the struggle, the turning point, the steps, and the breakthrough. One lesson stands out. Life doesn't get better by chance. It gets better by choice. By showing up, by pushing past fear, by refusing to settle. Take that first step. Make the plan, take the risk, fight for the life you know is possible. Your potential isn't a dream, it's waiting for you to claim it. The only limit is the one you place on yourself. If this message resonates, like this video, subscribe for more stories that push you to your full potential, and share it with someone who needs a reminder they can rise above anything. Your journey starts today.